The people in the first reading, Babylonian captivity. These people are slaves in another country. Isaiah writes to them and says, you think God has forgotten you? He has not. He has a plan, but you have to trust. St. Paul writes in the second reading, and he says to his people, he says, we are stewards and we are servants, but if we're going to be good stewards and good servants, we have to be able to trust and we have to be able to be trustworthy. Jesus in the gospel says, don't worry about life, but we worry about life. Some of the greatest wisdom I've learned, again, as last week I mentioned, comes from the elderly. I got a sick call to give the anointing of the sick to a woman in the hospital. This was quite a few years ago here in La Crosse. I went to the hospital. She was sitting on her bed. She was so nervous. Her name was Lois. And she said, Father, they're going to do open heart surgery on me. I am terrified. I want to go to confession, and I want to be able to receive the anointing of the sick. I did that. She was so nervous. I came 2 days later, the day just prior to her surgery. She was sitting on the bed, peaceful as could be. I said, Lois, how are you doing? Oh, she said, you can't believe it. Ever since I was anointed with the sacrament of the sick, I have had a peacefulness come over me. I don't care. If I die, I go home. If I live, I go home. And if I die, somebody will take care of my dog. She had such a peacefulness about her. She went into surgery like that. When she came out of surgery, she had complications. She never woke up. And she died a couple of days later. I told that story at the funeral. I said, I think you need to know the rest of the story. Because when they saw her anxious and nervous, I said, you've got to be able to see that when she walked into that surgery, she was not nervous Nellie. She was a saint. And for her, when she said, oh, it doesn't matter what I do because God has a plan and God will take me home if he wants. What would happen if we could live our life like that? With that kind of trust with whatever happens. That is what Jesus is calling us to in our daily life.